A leaf is the main organ of plant, which is used to carry out the vital process of photosynthesis. Leaves grow to be highly functional for processing sunlight, mineral and gases thanks to these features. Large surface area to capture more light and chlorophyll to absorb it. Veins to support the structure and allowing the flow of xylem and phloem. Thin structure and stomata to allow the diffusion of carbon dioxide. Parts of leaf. Lamina, or the leaf blade, i.e. the widest part of leaf. Petiole, attaching leaf with the main stem. Midrib, divides to give rise to veins. Veins, as bundles of vascular tissues. Margin, the edge of leaf. Internal structure of leaf. The internal structure of leaf consists of epidermis, stomata, cuticle, mesophyll, chloroplast, vascular tissue. Now let's have a deeper insight of these parts. Epidermis. The outermost cell layer of the leaf is known as the epidermis. It is one cell thick in most plants. It is divided into two, upper and lower epidermis. The function of epidermis is to provide protection to internal tissues and allow the exchange of gases via stomata. Stomata. Stomata are the openings which allow for this exchange of gases. There are two guard cells located on either side of stomata to regulate its opening and closing. The guard cells are the only cells in the epidermis layer which contain the chloroplast. Cuticle. Cuticle is a waxy layer which covers the surface of a leaf. The waxy layer reduces the water loss from leaf surface. Some leaves may have trichomes, which are the small hairs on leaf surface. They have toxic compounds or bad-tasting chemicals, which reduces the chance of them being eaten. Also, they reduce rate of transpiration by blocking airflow across the leaf surface. Mesophyll. In some plants, layers of cells known as mesophyll are present. This layer have two different arrangement of cells, palisade parenchyma and spongy mesophyll. Palisade parenchyma cells are column-shaped cells, which are tightly packed. They help in carrying out photosynthesis. In contrast, spongy mesophyll are loosely arranged cells below the palisade parenchyma. The spongy mesophyll have air spaces among them, as they are loosely arranged, which allows gaseous exchange between outer environment and leaf. In both layers of mesophyll, many chloroplasts are present. Chloroplast. Chloroplast contains chlorophyll pigment that captures energy required for photosynthesis to happen. This is the process of making glucose, which is the energy source for most cell. It makes this from sunlight energy, water, and carbon dioxide. Photosynthesis goes through two stages. Stage 1. Light-dependent reaction. This reaction depends on the presence of light. It starts when photons from sunlight strike the leaf, enter all the way through to the chloroplast and its thylakoid discs, excite the chlorophyll and activate electrons. During this process, water is split into oxygen and hydrogen ions, releasing electrons. This is how the electron in the chlorophyll gets replenished and where the oxygen generated during photosynthesis comes from. The activated electrons then move through a series of electron carriers, also referred to as electron transport chain, and in this process leads to the accumulation of the hydrogen ions, generating a proton gradient inside the thylakoid compartment. As the protons decrease their concentration gradient through the ATP synthase, ADP and PI come together to form ATP. The adenosine triphosphate, or the ATP, is an energy molecule that cells exchange, like currency, to release energy. The electrons going through the electron transport chain eventually end up combining with NADP+ to form NADPH, another energy-rich molecule that will be used later. Thus, the result of the light reaction is the production of oxygen released from the leaves, ATP and NADPH. The main difference between ATP and NADPH is the amount of energy molecules they release. Stage 2. Light independent or dark reaction. This reaction can proceed in the absence of light, but calling it a dark reaction might be misleading as it doesn't happen only in the dark. It can just as well happen in the light. This process uses the energy from light reaction to convert carbon dioxide into glucose. This might sound simple, but in fact, the conversion of carbon dioxide to glucose proceeds through a series of reactions that start with 3-ribulose bisphosphate (RUBP) and eventually end up with the same molecule, producing glucose in the process. Because these series of reactions start and end with the same molecule, they are referred to as a cycle, specifically the Calvin cycle. The overall complete photosynthesis reaction will be needing 6 carbon dioxide molecules and 6 water molecules powered by the sun energy to eventually produce glucose and 6 oxygen molecules. This ability to capture energy and produce food earned chloroplast the title as the powerhouse of plant. Chloroplast can be found moving around within the cells of mesophyll. There are usually 30 to 40 chloroplasts per mesophyll. Vascular tissue. Vascular tissues make up the plant's circulatory system, much like our own. In humans, blood transports oxygen and water to the body. In plants, xylem and phloem plays this role. Xylem transports water and minerals to leaves and consists of tracheids and vessels. Phloem is responsible for transport of photosynthetic products to other parts of plant.
Thank you for your continuous support, especially our valued patrons and members who have been encouraging us to keep producing more quality content.